please pray and open your heart to ask God to help you go beyond dating black men.
Change the weather.
Welcome to another King of Logic. Y'all do me a favor and hit the like, hit the subscribe. Y'all know the routine. Do one, do both. It don't matter. And if y'all never seen none of my videos, this is a reaction video I'm doing. I don't really do a lot of reaction videos, but I have been subscribed to quite a few red pill channels over the years, and occasionally this woman's content will pop up. I've looked at some of her videos before, and one of her recent videos caught my attention, and I was just like, wow, like I got to do a reaction to it, because it's just very, very disturbing to hear her say some of the things she said. I'm not surprised, because we've heard these things before. We've been hearing them for years, hell, decades. But we're going to go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to play a few clips from her video. I don't really like to play all the video that the content creator made, because I think that's a little bit unfair to the content creator. So I did chop up a few of the main points, and I got quite a few slides I want to show you and just debunk some of this stuff, because this blame the black male for everything is just asinine. And do we have some room for improvement as black men? Of course, there's always room for improvement, and I'm a very, very big advocate for black men holding ourselves accountable and becoming the best version of ourselves, as a lot of us like to say on here. And it is true. And those of us who are under the age of 40, those of you that are under 30, you know, we're the future. And this woman right here, I think she's at least in her late 40s, maybe even close to 50. I just think she's just a Gen Xer who is out of touch with reality, and she's just repeating what you know, she's been used to repeating for the past few years. So I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all hear a couple of clips, react to them, and we'll go from there.
One, I have gotten in trouble before for saying black women who want to exclusively marry black men, we are in the middle of a crisis. Black men are in crisis. And anybody who denies that black men are in crisis is ignoring the data, the science, the research, the statistics. It is not a figment of your imagination that there are not enough eligible black men to marry. You are not imagining that. It is real. By the time, like I said, I'm going to take my time with this. By the time you take that black people are only 11% of the population, black men being half of that 11%, by the time you remove the gay men, by the time you remove the mass incarceration, that when you see the populations of these prisons, and it is predominantly black men that are, these prisons are full of black men, full, at an exponential rate compared to our percentage of society. We're only 11% of the population, but the prisons are full of black men. You take out the men who are already married. You take out the men who are on the down low, gay, pretending to be straight, but ain't never going to marry a woman. Or if they do, they're bearding, faking, fronting, whatever. Inside of the still group of eligible black men in the dating pool, you still now under heterosexual black men who are not married and who are not gay and who are not in prison are still going to be your gold tooth, pants sagging dudes who have 0 sense. That's still inside of that number. Black men have come at me when I say there's not enough eligible men, and they push back at me. But one of the things I've realized about good black men is that you don't realize that, first of all, there's not a gazillion more like you. I've noticed this even with my husband. There's a lack of awareness around what is eligible and the availability of black men. My husband thinks so many men are just like him, that there's just really a bunch of Carrie Popes running around that are solid, hard-working, intelligent, marriage material, mature, grown men who want to be responsible and want to build a family. And I'm like, Carrie Pope, no.
Okay, so, there you go with the typical black men are gay, black men are in prison, we're unqualified, there's not enough of us who are qualified for marriage, blah, blah, blah. We've heard this for so freaking long, it's not funny. I'm not going to debunk everything she said right now because I got a couple more clips to show from her little diatribe in her car. We are the most incarcerated per capita. That's true. We all know that. And we all know that there have been targeting of black men over the years for many decades now. And our sitting president, Joseph R. Biden, helped usher in the 94 crime bill. He wrote it. But that's another conversation for another day. Black incarceration has actually gone down over the years. We are 13.5% of the population, not 11%, Mrs. Rebecca Lynn Pope. So her demographic data is off by a little bit. And when you're talking about 330 million plus people in this nation, you're subtracting a few million black people by saying we're only 11%. We're a little bit more than 11%. We could be a lot more if it wasn't for abortion, but we'll say that conversation for later. The black community as a whole is broken. We know that. The black family is the critical breakdown as to why the black community is in the shape that it's in. We all know that the black family is basically broken. If until the black family is restored, we're never going to see order in the black community. So those statistics that she was or talking points that she was regurgitating are very tired. A lot of black men have become middle class. A lot of black men are successful. A lot of black men are not in prison. A lot of black men are not convicted felons. Okay, I've been arrested before, but I'm not a felon. I can still vote. I can still legally own a firearm. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy to hear these talking points over and over and over. She's just saying them just to say them. And most black men are not gay. Okay, the majority of black men in this country are not gay. And shoot, in 2023, I would surmise that the majority of black men that's gay are not on the down low, because a lot of black women have dated gay men and they knew they were gay, and I'm going to prove it to you. But let's move on to the second clip. I don't want to keep rambling.
All these daggone gender wars on social media, and all the men who are beefing in, they've been hurt by 2 black women in their life, and now they're writing off all black women. And black women don't do that. Black women been dogged by black men, drugged by black men, completely ran over and heartbroken by black men, but still don't give up on black men. Black men, on the other hand, whole demographic of black men just giving up on black women. There are Facebook groups of black men who are dedicated to hurting black men who want to blame black women for all their problems, as if a white woman or a Latino woman, somebody who don't want you, by the way, are going to deal with your shenanigans and craziness because they got even higher standards. Because their culture raises them to have higher standards than black women. So you got to step up in order to even date a white or other woman, because their culture teaches them to marry into financial security for a man to be a provider and protector. It's in their culture.
Wrong again. In my little baboon voice from the movie Lion King. And this video is not to trash Rebecca Lynn Pope. I like her. I mean, she's an attractive woman for her age. She's married. I respect her marriage, you know. Her husband appears to be a good dude. I've looked at some of his content as well. But Rebecca Lynn Pope, I think you're just out of touch, sweetheart. Black men giving up on black women. There are, let me see, 45 million black people in this country. A little bit more black women than black men. I think black women are about 1 million, 1.5 million more than us. The overwhelming majority of black men who are married to black women. The overwhelming majority of black women that are married to black men. Most black men and black women do love each other, and I'm included in that demographic. I love black women, not the hyenas, but the black women. Okay. And yes, there is a small percentage of black men who have given up on black women, and there are black women who have given up on black men, and they're actually worse than us. You ever heard of Cynthia G and her abort black male babies, even though allegedly she's got a black baby by the same dusty dude she talks about? And there's this whole movement called divestors. If you ain't heard about them, do your research. Their rhetoric is disgusting. They got books about swirling. These are black women who are online calling black men bullet bags. They're disgusting. They're deplorable. And trust me, black men that are going overseas and looking for other other women of other ethnicities, and a lot of them are actually going to the Caribbean and Africa and Brazil to get black women. I have one of these too. Okay. But I don't have mine because I can't get a woman. I have mine because I like to travel. I'm actually about to leave the country Friday to go to my auntie's wedding down in the Caribbean. Okay. There are plenty of non-black women and black women of other cultures that love black men. If you're a good black man, and I got a lot to say beyond her video clips, and I'm gonna make it quick as possible because I don't want to make this video too long. But yeah, there's a small group of goofy black men and a small group of goofy black women that trash each other, and it's goofy. I don't get down like that. But this is the most disturbing clip she made. This is the worst one of all. Well, the worst. I don't know if you'll call it a clip, but it's the worst thing I heard her say throughout the whole video. This raised my eyebrows.
But if you are a black woman right now, you watch this video on YouTube and you decide that I really do want to be married, Rebecca. One, this is what I said the other night in class. Please pray and open your heart to ask God to help you go beyond dating black men. You have to open up your options. To love and be loved is one of the biggest blessings in the whole wide world. And ladies, listen, you can say, Rebecca, I want a black man. I want a black man. I don't want to date other. Rebecca, I want a black man. That's fine. I'm married to a black man. I am not denying you a black man. I'm not. But I'm simply saying is that if you've been barking up that tree and that's not flowing for you, and you don't have a ring on your finger, and you're dating and the options you're getting are not marriage material, I'm saying that it is better for you to be loved by a good man rather than just a black man.
Okay, so that's the end of me playing her video clips. it's so much wrong with some of the stuff she said, but just real quick, it's so many black men who are qualified, who are good men, who do make good enough money to have a family. You got a lot of blue collar black men that don't get the attention, such as electricians, construction guys, farmers, painters, right? Guys who actually get out there and go get it. A lot of these guys start their own businesses and they make high 5 figures, low 6 figures. Guys that start up a plumbing business or electrical business, they can make $1, $2, $3, $400,000 if they stay in the game long enough, because those are very specialized skills, and you have to have electricity, you have to have water, you have to eat, right? And just because these guys are not working in corporate America and they don't have the glamour and glitz beside their name, or they don't have a degree, doesn't mean that they're not good men. And a lot of black women have to stop thinking so superficially. And I didn't hear her touch on none of that. As a matter of fact, Rebecca Lynn Pope used to be a dating coach for black women, and she stopped being a dating coach because black women's expectations were too unrealistic. You can go look at her video in full. I think it's about 25 minutes. It's something about Auntie Rebecca, advice for black women wanting marriage, or something along those lines. If you advice from Auntie Rebecca, something like that. But it's not that old of a video. You'll find it if you want to see the whole video. But let's talk about the whole gay thing real quick, because black women seem to have this rhetoric that so many of us are gay, but black women as a whole worship black gay men. And you even got some black women that are married to black men and they know they gay. Don't believe me?
See that as our family and our children. As much as we expose them and share photos, we're still very private with certain things.
Is that why you did not want him to reveal that he told you long before your marriage that he was bisexual?
Not even that he told me, just for him to have to say it. I don't think it's anyone's business.
Y'all remember her? That's the wife of this guy, Andrew Gillum, former mayor of Tallahassee. He ran for governor of Florida in 2018, almost won, came within 33,000 votes of beating Ron DeSantis. Thank God DeSantis won. I'm very right wing. I'm conservative. I haven't voted for a Democrat in God knows how long. But and that's another thing. A lot of black men are starting to vote for the Republican Party, which means we're more conservative now than our elder black parents and grandparents. They're in love with the Democrat Party. And black women are in love with the Democrat Party too. Don't want to make this video too political, but Andrew Gillum told his wife before they got married that he was bisexual. I don't think there's a such thing as a bisexual man. You're either hetero or homo. And I don't think most black women want to share a man with another man. I just don't think most black women get down like that. But she don't care. And I mean, I'm not trying to roast her, but she's not the finest woman in the world. She's got some big tatas, but she obviously has low self-esteem to allow herself to enter into a relationship like that. You can't compete with no man in the bedroom, baby. You just can't. Most black women that I've talked to, they say, Dre, I would never do that. I would never. I would rather catch my man cheating on me with another woman than another man, because at least I can compete with her, but I can't compete with no man. And that's true. And if you're talking to a masculine heterosexual black male like myself, who's unapologetically masculine, my masculinity is raw. It is unscripted. It is unfiltered. It is unadulterated. It is raw. Toxic masculinity, call me whatever the hell you want. I do not believe in bisexual men. You're gay or straight. And I brought this video up because this ain't the only black woman that's with a gay man. You got black women sleeping with gay men regularly, and they know they're gay, but that man might got money. Everybody know about Diddy. Everybody that's under the age of 60 know how Diddy get down. It's an open secret. But this man got what, 6 kids with one on the way, or 7 with one on the way? These women are letting this man put his raw sausage in them and skeet up the club and put babies in them, knowing that there's been rumors about his sexuality for years. So Rebecca Lynn Pope, you talk all this rhetoric. A lot of black women talk all this rhetoric about black men being gay, But y'all love gay men. Number one, you worship gay men. Most black gay men's best friend is a black woman. And number two, some of y'all be with gay men and y'all know they gay, like RJ Gillum. But because they got a dude with a position of power or he got money, you'll go along for the ride. So pick a side, black women. Pick a side. And we ain't gotta say no names with this one. This is April Mason. Super thick chocolate April Mason. But April Mason is another former dating coach for black women who bailed out because she just couldn't work with y'all. She said y'all was too difficult. Y'all didn't want to do the work. Y'all didn't want to lose the weight. Y'all didn't want to be feminine and submit and cooperate with men. Y'all had these super high expectations and these crazy entitlements. The entitlement mentality, excuse me. And she just said she couldn't take it no more. Y'all remember this dude? So yeah, Mr. Kevin Samuels, rest in peace. The late great Kevin Samuels. I mean, he started off as a image consultant. He was talking exclusively to black men, telling black men to step our game up. And then he went viral with the Average at Best clip, as we all know, and he blew up and took off from there and never looked back. He had thousands upon thousands of black women tune into his show every night. He died having over 1 million subs on YouTube, 1 million followers on Instagram. Blew up overnight. And if you look at some of his content, it's still on YouTube. His old content is still up. People are making their own channels off of his content alone, just regurgitating his content, making money off of it. And the whole premise of his show was it was a bunch of black women calling in with delusional expectations and crazy standards that they really weren't qualified for. So Rebecca Lynn Pope and people of her ilk, it's a two-way street. These black women that may have these degrees, that may be successful, that may have money, are they fit to be wives? Sweetheart, your degree means nothing to a man who got 6-7 figures in the bank at all times. He drives a car that's worth $80,000 to $200,000. I mean, that's very rare. Let me not say 200,000, but you get what I'm saying. He pushing the Range Rover. He pushing the Benz. He pushing the Lexus truck or Audi truck or something like that. $50,000, $60,000 SUV. You know, he got a $2,000 suit on. You know, he live in a very nice community on the north side, east side, whatever side is the nice part of your community. I'm from Atlanta. Our wealthy part is the north. Very wealthy up in the north. But anyway, the so-called successful black women are often struggling to find mates because they spend all this time getting these degrees, but you don't spend no time learning how to be a wife. Because oftentimes a lot of black women are not raised by a wife. They're raised by single mothers, as are a lot of black men. Now, I had a mother and father in the home until they got divorced. That's another conversation for another day. But my mother out-earned my father. Not by a whole lot, but maybe by about 10 grand a year. And my mother was very submissive to him. She was loyal to him. She cooked for him. She cleaned for him. She gave him 3 children. All of us are by the same mom and dad. You know what I mean? So the baby mama, baby daddy culture, I didn't come from that. And a lot of black people do come from that. And that's why a lot of us don't have the know-how on how to be a proper mate for somebody of the opposite sex. I mean, and she talked about the marriage rate, how 75% of black women will never get married. Well, damn it. A lot of black women are embracing ratchet culture, hoe culture, thought culture, Instagram thought culture, you know, city girl culture. Even though a lot of black women that are professional don't act like this in public, some of these black women listen to this music. Some black women co-sign this behavior. When you call it out, a lot of black women say, oh, you can't talk about them. They learned it from the male rappers, which may be true. The black male rappers are responsible for paving the way for these ghetto whores, but that doesn't mean they have to do it. You know, the promiscuity. Some of these women end up having multiple abortions and then try to shame the black women who aren't child free. Oh, you got all these kids by all these men, but how many times have you been pregnant and then keep the baby? You ain't no better than her. It's just a mess. It's a total mess. And you can't say that this thought culture don't influence the mass of black women, because the same thing on the opposite side influences black men. The thug culture, the street culture. Look at a professional basketball player like Ja Morant, suspended for 25 games next season because he wanted to be on Instagram flashing a pistol, and you come from a good 2-parent household and you making millions of dollars a year. All right, so I'm gonna start wrapping this video up. But yeah, man, I mean, you got so many black women that, you know, don't even want to wear their own hair, the weave, the lashes, the nails, all these booty surgeries where you look obviously cut all up like a cartoon character. The lashes are just getting so ridiculous. These women don't even look real anymore, man. Their bodies don't even look real. I mean, are black women not in love with their hair anymore? Like, natural black hair is beautiful to me. I want to marry a black woman that wears her natural hair, kinky natural hair, the way God made it. If her hair had the same texture as mine, I don't want her. I don't get it. And plus weave, a lot of it stinks. But anyway, the weight thing, black women don't want to go to the gym.
I hate when people talk about black women being obese. I hate it.
So while you want black women to pray to God so they can be more comfortable with swirling, what you need to be praying to God for, black women, is that you become the best that you can be, so that way you can attract the man that God has for you. If you want to swirl, go ahead and swirl. I don't have nothing against it. I got way more issues to worry about than swirling. I'm not gonna promote it. I'm not gonna encourage it. I'm gonna say be with who is best for you. Don't go seeking out no man because he's another race. That's where you messing up at it. That's what you're trying to do. The facts are what they are, though. The majority of white men, when they do get married, they marry white women. When they don't marry white women, they marry Latina women. When they don't marry them, they marry Asian women. Then they marry black women. The overwhelming majority of black women that get married are married to black men. Like I said, over 93% of black women that are married to black men. And I think it's around 85% for black men when they get married to black women. So we swirl more because we can. But black men, when we marry white women, our relationships don't usually work out too well. Black women with white men actually do better. But most white men, they want to marry white women. That's just what it is. They'll have sex with you. They'll bend you over. And I think it's very, very disingenuous and dishonest for black females to keep telling black women to go find a man of another race when most black women do prefer their own. If black women prefer their own men, black women need to learn how to come to the table with their own men, like Kevin Samuels was trying to get y'all to do. And people like me are trying to get y'all to do. We can work it out, but y'all got to be willing to, listen and apply the things that we're telling you, because a lot of y'all have a stubborn, rebellious mentality. And when you're stubborn and rebellious, you end up alone. I just recently got rid of a female who wanted to be stubborn. And I'm just getting too old for that. Like, I don't ask for a lot. I don't need you to pay my bills. I don't need you to give me nothing that I can't provide for myself. I need you to give me you. But when I say I want you, I want all of you. Mind, heart, body, your womb. I want babies. You want to be my wife, we can do all that too. But you got to be on the same page as me. You got to work with me, not against me. You work against me, you working out the door. That's just what it's going to be. So, I promote black families because we need more of that. You can do what y'all want to do. Listen to Rebecca Lynn Pope or listen to somebody who actually going to give you the real deal. I think black women are better off listening to black men with sense that actually got it together than black women, because black women are going to only see it from one side. They're not going to give you the unbiased, unadulterated truth. They're not going to give you a balanced truth. It's going to be blame black men, black men, black men, instead of saying, look in the mirror, baby. Did y'all see how Ayanna Van Sant went at what's that woman named Ebony Williams, the attorney, when she said she didn't want to date no bus driver because she feels entitled? She's 40 years old. You don't have the options like that no more, sweetheart. Before some of y'all know it, if you ain't already 40, you're going to turn up at 40 years old still with no ring on your finger. And another thing, black women, one more thing y'all need to do. Please get a hold of y'all's image. Like all these thought rappers coming out and these black women that's on Instagram twerking all over the place, and I know men do prop them up. It ain't just women that like they photos and videos, but at least let's start promoting more positive images of black women. Look at Simone Biles and her husband. Why don't we see more imagery like that of black women versus Sukihana and Meg Thee Stallion and City Girls and Cardi B? Like I want to see quality black women, and we as black men need to do the same. We need to start reclaiming our image too, because NBA YoungBoy, he ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Young Thug walking around with a dress on ain't it. You know what I'm saying? All these goofball rappers dyeing their hair blonde and stuff, wearing all these crazy outfits and stuff, all these weird colors in their head. But the video is over 30 minutes. I didn't mean to make it this long. Hope y'all liked it. Like, subscribe, share. Peace.
هدفي بكل سهولة صوبت وصبتي ما تركت لغيرك أدوار ده حتى